Hello and welcome back to another video. It's been a very long time since I have sat down and made a commentary on a Zwift race. I've not done it in ages. I've been doing live streams. I live stream every ZRL race on a Tuesday. Didn't stream this one, so I'm doing a voiceover instead. I've moved my Zwift setup into my office, and the internet is not good enough to stream and race on Zwift. So until I fix that, we'll just have to do voiceovers. So this is 5 laps of something. I can't remember what it's called now. Really fun loop. Everyone will know it. It's really well played. I don't know what you'd say. I'm doing one take with this, so we're just going to keep rolling with it. We get to the first sprint. At this point, I don't really know if I can hold on to the front group, so I'm trying to pace myself. You can already see bottom left of the screen. It's pretty punchy. Lots of big spikes in power coming through the S's. And yeah, so I've got a good bunch of people in front of me to get a good draft. Problem is I don't have a good power up, so can't really utilise that. But yeah, holding 700 watts, which is pretty average for me. That's not really a big sprint. I'm still in the saddle. I just didn't want to blow my doors off on the first one. And then, yeah, I found this section of the race to be the hardest, to be honest, where all the sprinters would go and then you sort of had to catch up with them. But yeah, that was a little bit of insight. To be honest, once the group sort of formed, the pace was pretty average. Like, it wasn't very hard to stick in the wheels. You have got to pay attention because you don't get too long to recover before you're going up the Zwift KOM. It's only half of it this time, so that's pretty decent for someone like me who doesn't really like climbing. So I sort of just ease into it, holding 3 and a bit watts, and then trying to stay at the front of the group, because what I've learned is that if I'm chasing the pack, so if I'm trying to hold the wheels, I usually get dropped. So I'm changing my mentality from trying to hold the wheels to stay at the front of the group and let the group chase me. You know, obviously it's not the tactic for conserving energy, but it keeps me in the group, and it's just a mindset thing. I like being chased rather than chasing, because I feel like if I'm chasing, sometimes I give up a bit too early when, you know, I might have an extra few watts in the tank. So yeah, just keep pushing all the way to the top. You don't want to ease off at the top and then get rolled by people coming past you. So yeah, really enjoyed this race because the climb was pretty easy. Well, I mean, it's not much of a climb, to be fair. It's, 80 meters a lap, so pretty decent. And then this downhill, I will get a bit worried at this point that people are going to blast past me, but then everyone sort of goes into the super tuck, so the group forms back together. And then we roll back round again, all the way back to the sprint. So at this point, I'm pushing it up this little kicker, because I usually get dropped on these kind of things, but I realised I was pushing myself way too hard up that, and being at the front of the group is really unnecessary at this stage. And yeah, put down 400 watts and then find myself off the front again. So I just kind of need to readjust my power, because now I'm using a direct drive trainer. I can actually get out the saddle and put some power down, and I'm basically just using it at the wrong time. But yeah, here we go into the sprint again, trying to let as many people come past me as possible. I should probably also mention that at this point I cannot use my feather power up because the app on my phone isn't working. It's literally not there on the phone for me for some reason. So yeah, just having to go raw on this one. But yeah, again, a pretty steady sprint, 600 watts, nothing crazy. Just trying to preserve some energy, and yeah, you'll see later on it's worthwhile. So at this point in the race, I'm just trying to recover as much as possible before getting to the hill. So yeah, you can see after the sprint, and then after the short little uphill section after the sprint, where I'm just trying to make sure I stay in the group, I'm basically in zone 2, trying to get as much recovery as I can. I really like this climb because it forces me out of the saddle and I can sort of grind it out. And I'm at about 4.8 watts per kilo, I think. I'm sat quite far away from the computer, but yeah, I can't drop my featherweight power up, otherwise I would. So I'm having to put a bit extra here in the sixes for a second there. Just trying to stay at the front again with that chaser not the chaser, chased mentality. I want to feel like people are chasing me, and that pushes me on rather than sitting at the back holding the wheels and then getting dropped. So yeah, just a change in mindset there for me. So at this point, the flatter sections, I'm finding it a lot easier to sort of stay in the draft, not jumping to the front, because I'm more confident that I can sort of stay in the pack. I think where I'm a little bit less confident is on the hill. So like right here, I'm up into like red and high zone 4, just trying to stay at the front, which I probably need to do a bit less of to try and save the legs for later on in the race. So my positioning going into this sprint is much better. I'm sat 25th wheel. I've got a big blob ahead of me, and yeah, I'm not revving it up enough. Like, I'm not even getting out the saddle, to be honest. If I really gave this one the beans, I probably could have had a decent go at getting fastest through the segment. I don't even think I get first across the line points, which is just again a waste of energy. I think if I'm going to go for these sprints, I need to be all in, or just coast through it, because at that point I'm just I'm not getting any points for the team, and I'm just burning matches. So yeah, now that I know I can sort of hold my own with my FTP and sort of stay in this front group, I need to be a lot more smart with where I'm sort of allocating my matches to, if that makes sense. So going up this climb, I think for the 4th time, I wanted to be at the front. I don't know why. I've never been one to like be a good climber, and for some reason I always found myself at the front or near the front on this climb. So I just thought, bugger it, I'm just going to go for it. Don't worry about sitting in the wheels. I'm not getting any much draft anyway. So I thought, let's just spend some time at the front with no one in front of me, and yeah, it was a nice feeling. So going into this race and talking with some of my teammates, I thought that people would attack on the S's to try and get a jump on those sprint points, but it just wasn't the case. The peloton was pretty happy just to coast through the S's and then pick the speed up on the downhill. Maybe for next time that's something I could try, because as you can see, I'm getting to the top of that hill first almost every lap, and this one I try and hold on to it. So I'm pushing the watts from all the way down the hill, 4.2 watts per kilo, and at this point I'm thinking this is a bit too good to be true. Where is everyone? So I start my sprint. This time get it up to 700 watts, and then yeah, everyone flies past me. So I basically gave all these guys an amazing lead out, so they all get the points and I get bugger all again. So a massive waste of matches, and yeah, I'm definitely learning my lesson here that I need to commit to these sprints or not bother, because they take it out of my legs, which I can use for the sprint for the final points. But yeah, at this point in the race, I've kind of learned what sort of power I need to produce to stay with that front group. So as you can see, I'm kind of ramping it up. And then as it gets steeper out the saddle, I finally managed to update my companion app, and it lets me use the feather drop, after 4 laps. That's amazing. So I've been struggling this whole time. But look at that power curve. That is beautiful. Just goes nice curves upwards into zone, I don't know, felt like zone 20. But yeah, at this point I was suffering a little bit because for the first 4 laps I didn't drink any water, and then I realised that, chugged a load of water, and it did not want to stay down. I thought we were going to have a viral video on our hands here where I throw up everywhere, but luckily I keep it down and we keep soldiering on, and yeah, more recovery. Okay, so we are deep into the final lap at this point, and I think, you know what, this could be a great idea to try a new technique for this sprint. Don't know who else is changing their game plan in the final lap of a race, but here we go. So at this point I'm pretty confident I'm not going to get dropped. I'm pretty happy with my position, so I get a little bit confident and I let as many wheels go in front of me as I can to try and create as much of a draft effect as possible through this sprint section. I'm pretty sure I'm the last one in the peloton here, so I've got 23 wheels to get past. I managed to drop my draft boost. I don't know if it was perfect timing, we'll see in a sec, but I'm trying to keep as much of this speed as possible. I get out the saddle for the first time in this sprint. I managed to get up to 950 watts, I think. And yeah, coming through, flying through, 66 kilometers an hour. I probably could have dropped my draft boost a bit earlier, actually, judging by the fact that I'm still using it now. But yeah, according to Zwift, that was the 4th fastest through the segment in the race. So I don't know if ZRL will think the same thing. I don't know if it's only in the first lap or whatever. I don't know how it works, the politics and all that. But according to Zwift, that was the 4th fastest through that segment in the race. So I'm pretty happy with that. Kind of proved to myself that I can do it. I just need to commit to the sprint. What I didn't think about was burning all those matches in the same lap as the finish line is probably not a good idea. So at this point, I'm really trying to focus on recovering, trying to sit as far back as possible. Obviously, you don't get much recovery time on this circuit. One guy's gone off the front, second guy's chasing him down, and I really just did not commit to this push up this hill. As you can see, my power has dropped right off. I'm sitting 7th wheel right now, which would be an amazing result, but yeah, I'm just letting these wheels go. I should be really pushing. Heart rate isn't crazy right now, so I don't know why I had a bit of a brain lapse and I just didn't keep pushing at this point, especially down the hill. If I had just caught onto those wheels, I would have had a top 10 easy, but instead, all these people come past me who are thinking straight and know that the end is just round the corner and they should keep pushing. Like, my heart rate's 170. Do you know what I mean? Like, I should be sprinting from now. Do you know what I mean? But the damage is done. I'm too far away. I can't close the gap. When they're going 60 kilometers an hour and I'm going 55, it's just not going to happen. But yeah, my best result so far in ZRL, 15th place, and I think I picked up some points for sprints and whatnot, so that's pretty decent. But yeah, at this point, I'm just dead. Heart rate 188, 189. I'm not even pedaling. So yeah, top 15. I'll take it. Well done, James. I'll link his video. He's recorded his perspective. He came 10th. You can see him there. Back pedal C2. Yeah, he had an amazing race as well. So yeah, good for him. But yeah, we managed to pick up an FTP increase 2 races in a row now. So if we can keep this up, we should be winning some CCAT races, which will be awesome. Let's just wait and see what the power curve is saying. Come on, John. Stop being lazy. Here we go. 54 minutes of racing. Max power, I think that's about 950. Average 239. And yeah, PBs. And then there we go, 257 FTP.